Worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right. Man, what a beautiful day yet again, folks, right? Thank you all. Thank you all. We have come very, very far, right? Uh, just reminiscing about my first video on this channel and how many videos ago that was. We have come a far way indeed, and I thank you all truly. The channel, this movement has grown and seen strength and shall continue to do so, right? And that's all because of you. I thank you all. I love you all. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, and let's build this worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. All right, that's what I'm talking about. So this video will be short. I will say I'm gonna try to make it short. This will be short. This is the 2022 check-in, and man, you haven't heard from me for a little while. We'll call it just a brief hiatus. Nothing wrong, right? Things have been proceeding as foreseen. That's a good way to say it, right? The transition, folks, is truly ratcheting up, right? We are seeing this paradigm. Let me state that better. We are seeing the old paradigm truly shed its last vestiges in these last few desperate efforts of the low vibrational frequency energies and all the ways and in all the people in which they manifest, right? And as I've said, right, you're going to have the folks who are a bit more immersed in those lower vibrational frequencies, the folks who are struggling, right, with the low vibrational frequencies that have become a part of their life, right, that have become a part of who they are at that particular stage of their spiritual maturation. And like I've said so many times, folks, there's nothing wrong with that. We got to take judgment, blame, and punishment and chastisement and revenge and all those things, and throw that by the wayside, right? Those are vestiges of the old paradigm, the old way in which we treated each other. And instead, we're going to have and demonstrate spiritual maturity through mature, compassionate action, right? So what does that mean, folks? Since we already know, and I've discussed it on these videos, right? 2022 has been a big year, folks. For those who have been paying as lucid attention as I have, right, and many others, you can see quite easily the desperate measures taken and the desperation in all the ways in which it plays itself out through the actions of the socioeconomic elite and all of those individuals, groups, organizations who would like to keep the old paradigm alive and well. And you know, that has become an exercise in futility. Folks, things ain't going back to the way they were. They're not. We're not going backward, right? We're moving forward. We're surging powerfully forward in the shaping of our new paradigm, right? A much higher vibrational frequency paradigm. When I was younger, I used to watch G.I. Joe. I know. But one of the positive things I could take out of it was that old saying they always said, um, knowing is half the battle, right? And it is. It truly is, because all that remains after that is appropriate action. Well, folks, this year, as I've said, and many others have said, has been all about the knowing, right? So much of what has been hidden in the way our government operates, the way our every institution that you can name of, every single institution that touches our lives, and the way that those institutions are shaped, manipulated, and controlled by the socioeconomic elite, or at least have been. All of that has just been, let's find a good way to say this. I was going to use an old school term that might not have been the best. All of those things have been revealed so much more rapidly, right? All of those things have come to light and are continuing to come to light each and every day, folks. If you just but pay attention, and if you just put forth a little effort to seek out free thinking, research, free thinking and independent information from free and independent sources, right? And if you just go with what resonates with you, right? You don't have to look to me or anyone else to validate what you feel is right, to validate where you see things going, to lay out a plan of where you fit into the divine system. You do that for yourself. Previously, all of that has been done for us. Those decisions have been made externally by groups and individuals, socioeconomic elites, who, through social engineering and other mechanisms, have controlled us, right? In many ways in which we didn't even have any idea we were being controlled or manipulated, right? Now all of that is coming to light. Again, the information is there now, folks, which is a big part of why all of these things and why the paradigm itself is changing. Again, I've said many times, the socioeconomic elites, those who have held power on this planet for countless years, the biggest thing that has aided them in doing so has been the control of the flow of information, right? That has ceased. They have no control. None. There is zero control over the flow of information. That is why they employ so many tactics and are doing so more and more. For example, if there's information that the powers that be or the socioeconomic elites do not want you to know, in this new environment where information is going to get out there whether they like it or not, what they tend to do is to bury it under misinformation, right? Things that they know are not correct and are in many instances designed to manipulate and control you. They will bury what they don't want you to know under that kind of misleading information, right? And then to be cute, they'll call it an effort against disinformation. So the things you need to know, they call disinformation, and use the corporate control multimedia outlets to push that agenda, right? While at the same time feeding you information that they know is not correct, right? In efforts to bury what they don't want you to know and to manipulate your perception, right? But it's just not working. It's not, folks. I'm laughing at all this. And I hope for so many of us who are going through a tough time through all of this, right? I don't make light of that at all. I understand there are a lot of people struggling severely, a lot of people who are crushed by the fact that their closest loved ones seem to be turning on them, right? That they are seeing ugly in so many places and they didn't see it before, and it's shocking. Understand that, folks, and that's part of the process that is unavoidable for us, right? We're not all at the same stage, and I have to understand and respect that. I can say and mean that this stuff is whimsical to me now because of the perspective from which I view it. I understand that our reason for incarnating on this planet into physical form is so that our spirits have an opportunity to gain immensely in spiritual maturity by experiencing things like vulnerability, for example, that they would not experience in spiritual form, right? That we would not experience in spiritual form, in corporeal form, right? So me understanding that everything that happens to us in our lifetimes are things that we have manifested, right? Now, many of you may say, Big King, you was just talking about how the socioeconomic elite are manipulating things on the planet and have been doing so for so many years. That is true. Folks, we need to understand that when I say we manifest this reality, we literally manifest this reality. And there's tons of scientific evidence for those who require that form of proof. I'll let you pause the video and go and seek that if you like. Check into the physics of it would be my first suggestion. And the way that our biosphere, which is the electromagnetic field that our bodies emanate and radiate, right? The way that our biosphere interacts with them, which is the include and is a part of, and everything is a part of. So I understand that we manifest constantly from our subconscious. Why all views pop up and the world, because we all know that our subconscious is full of and that, folks, not only do we individually manifest our reality, as a species, we collectively manifest reality on this planet. So these socioeconomic elite and that whole structure that has been going on for so long on this planet, we have manifested that collectively. Why? Because just as our souls, or rather our spirits, have a need to spiritually mature, as do we as a civilization, right? And just as the folks in your circle, right, most often your most immediate circle, put you through difficult situations and scenarios that help you to eventually spiritually mature as you overcome them. The same is to be said about our society and our civilization, should I say, on a whole. The actions of the social economic elite and all the dark things in our world, right, that have been manifested into our world, all of them serve to mature us as a civilization on this planet, right? And it's working. But it's not it's often not a pretty sight, and it's not a process that is accomplished easily, right? And think about it though, many things that are worthwhile are not easily accomplished, right? There's something about the toil of the process, the grind of the process, that really hammers home those messages, right? Those lessons that we should be gaining through spiritual maturity, right? Through overcoming these situations and scenarios. All of that is worthwhile. It's just not necessarily always the prettiest thing to go through, right? But it doesn't make it any less worthwhile. In fact, like I stated in previous videos, often in life, the most difficult situations and scenarios that we face, the most painful, the most hurtful, the most stressful, the most intense, right? Often these are the things that are hammering home the most important lessons that we need to learn. That is true both on the individual level and as a civilization on a whole, right? So as much as the rule of the socio-economic elite on this planet and all the ill that it has spawned, as much as these things are distasteful, as they are ugly, and as we don't want them or want to deal with them, they have made us better. Huh? Just like how we forge steel, right? It is a very similar process. I'll give a nod and a wink to my man Mike Tomlin on that. Coach Tomlin talks and has talked about how adversity shapes us, right? Or at least how we and what we gain from adversity shapes us. And that's essentially what we're talking about, folks. It's just that we're talking about it both on an individual level and worldwide. So just keep in mind as we're going through all this that it may be painful, it may be tough. There may be times when we feel betrayed or abandoned or abused or just in some way hurt by the folks in our inner circle or folks that we may associate with. Understand that they're just doing the best that they can do with what they have to work with, right? As they continue through this process, as they make their own individual way through their crucible, right? As they are forged, we all have to go through it as a process. And it makes sense that not all of us are at the same place or at the same point in this process, because we need to have way showers, folks. We need to have folks who can step up and say, yeah, it looks real bad right now, but I've been there. And I see that on the other side of that, things are better. Trust me, they will get better. And that's the truth, folks. And it's not always easy to see that things are getting better. But I would attribute that to perspective, right? Okay, perfect example. You're looking at me right now and you can say, that's Big King Sadiq. Doing this thing, talking about what he talks about as he spreads peace, love, respect. True indeed. And you can see and recognize me quite easily from your current perspective. However, if I change your perspective, you don't know who that is. You might not know what that is. Right? Nothing has changed. It's just a matter of what you could see and what you could perceive clearly. Sometimes when you're too close to something, it's difficult to get a clear view. All of this is very personal to all of us, right? Even the things that are happening on the planet that might not be things that are done by folks who we know personally, right? All of it affects us in one way or another. All of it shapes us, right? And all of it is leading us to where we want to go, to gain that spiritual maturity. And we will and are. Trust that and know that things will and are getting better. And as you proceed through your process, I guarantee you, your perspective will change. All right? I love you all. Thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe. Let's continue to build this movement. Peace.